Yeah, fam, this is Bigtone coming at you again with another video from Beats and Feasts. We're going to do something maybe a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I can still do it. Don't get it twisted. I can do some bacon too. So we're going to do some bacon today. We're going to do one of my mom's old favorites. This is going to be chess pie. For those of you guys who don't know, chess pie is considered a southern staple. It's kind of like a transparent pie or maybe a custard pie. But we're going to get this video started. But before we do, I want you to go down, like, comment, and subscribe. And I want to thank all of you guys who have already done this and subscribed to my channel and did comments and that type of thing. I really appreciate it. It helps us grow. But also share the video if you don't mind. But we're going to get this video started. This is some custard pie, or some chess pie is the real name. All right, fam, let's get started with this recipe here. I'm going to give you my supporting cast right off the bat because baking is a lot about exact measurements. And you know from my other videos, I'm not one to do a lot of exact measurements. But to get started, this recipe calls for, and I'm going to do it right off the board, it calls for flour, sugar, butter, carnation milk, and 10 eggs. That's really all that is involved in the recipe. Now, some people like to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It gives it a little bit of a vanilla-y flavor and a little bit more color. But I'm going to decide that when I get to that point. But let's get started. So in the bowl already, I've already measured this out, okay? It calls for 2/3 cup of flour, and I have 3 1/4 cups of sugar in the bowl already. So I've already measured those out. I didn't want to take the time to bore you of that. But and then at that point, we're basically just gonna add our wet ingredients at that point. So give me a second, we'll get that started for you. So we're gonna get started with the wet ingredients here. And if I didn't tell you before, which I couldn't remember, but it calls for 10 egg yolks, okay? So basically, we're gonna separate the egg yolks and the egg whites. So basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and crack some eggs here for you. And I separate them like this. I know a lot of people like to use a water bottle and they suck the yolk out of the whites, but I just do it like this. It may take a little bit more time. Alright, so we got my eggs already separated. We took the 10 egg yolks from the whites. So I got my egg yolks in here. My carnation milk is here. That's the last thing I'm going to add. And it calls for 3 1/2 cups of butter, which if you don't know, that's really just 3 sticks of butter. Okay, so we're going to add these, but I'm going to add the carnation milk last. So it's very simple to do. Alright, I'm going to add the butter here. Now I like to do my butter softened a little bit here. So I put it in the microwave for a little bit. I don't want to totally get it way soft, but I like to soften it up a little bit, just a little easier to work with. Some people like to put it in as just cubes so it's still hard. I don't necessarily like to do that. Kind of like when they make biscuits. They like that hard butter because it gives a better consistency. But I like it softened here. All right, so we're gonna mix this up here. Give me just a moment. Got my handy dandy hand mixer. This is gonna be tough to put on camera. I'm gonna do it with my left hand here. As you can see, I've got the mixture mixed up, and it comes to this consistency and this color. Now, if I added a little bit of vanilla, which I've decided not to on this one, it would be just a tad bit darker. But I like it without the vanilla. I don't really get into the vanilla flavor as much. But this recipe, it is for 2 pies. So, and I always make 2. My mom made it that way for the simple fact that she always gave 1 pie away most of the time. So she always made it from 2. Plus, she was a chef for a lot of years. So she always made in large batches. But we got it down to 2 pies. So basically, all we're going to do is divide this mixture up between the 2. I'm sorry if my arm is in the way, but we're just going to simply pour it in the pie shell in the first one. Before I get too much in there, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the second pie shell. Even it out just a little bit between the 2. Alright guys, so we got pretty much even consistency between the 2 pie shells. What I normally do, kind of like when you bake a cake, is I just pound it out to get it flat a little bit. Also get some of the air out that might be stuck in there a little bit. And yeah, I cheated. I used just regular pie shells from the store. Now, one thing I do want to add that most people might get confused is that you have, for this recipe, you have to use the deep pie shells. Don't get regular shallow pie shells. It's gonna overflow. And also, your pie is just too thin. You want to give somebody something to eat. Alright, so next thing you're going to see me is popping this in the oven. This bakes at 350. I've already preheated the oven at 350. And usually it's about 45 minutes. Sometimes maybe about 50 minutes or an hour. But it just depends on, it just really depends. Sometimes you put it in the oven and 45 minutes goes by and it's still really loose. So we're gonna see, but I'll tell you exactly how long it took once we take the pies out and you see the finished product. We got the oven set at 350. It's already been preheating, so I'm just gonna pop the pies in. And I'll see you when they're done. Guys, here we go. We're back. I've already taken the pie out and cut a little piece for us with a little dollop of whipped cream. Southern style chest pie, another perfection on the plate. Now this recipe, my oven's a little messed up, so it took probably about an hour and 15 minutes. But it's a little messed up. Usually it takes about 45 minutes if you got a nicely calibrated oven. But now I'm gonna get the official taste test here. I'm over at my mom's house, and we're gonna do a taste test here of the chest pie, and this is the ultimate taste. This is her recipe. So she's gonna give me her opinion, all right? I know the lighting's a little terrible, but that's that same chest pie as you saw in the video, all right? But we're gonna pan over to my mom and ask her a couple questions and take a taste. Hey Mom, how you doing?
Fine.
Mom, when you started, how long have you been making these pies?
For 25 years.
That's a long time to be making chest pies. When you used to make them over at the camp, how many pies did you make at one time?
12 pies, cut in 6s, in 8 of these.
That's a lot of slices at one time.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take a taste, Mom. You're gonna give me whether it's good or not, okay? All right, you ready for a piece? All right, that's enough chewing. What do you think, Mom?
It's good. Better than mine.
It's better than yours. I don't even know how that's possible. Oh, they brought you lunch, huh? Thank you, hon. I appreciate it. Mom?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want another piece?
Mm-hmm.
Or you want your lunch?
I'll take another bite before I take the lunch one.
Okay. Now that's the ultimate compliment. If you say it's better than yours, I don't know how it's better than yours, or you're the one who taught me. So you like it. That's good. I'm glad you like it. This is my mom. She's 90 years old. Be 91 in October. And she said that I make a better pie than her. I don't think that that's true. There you go. That's the ultimate test taste. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and go ahead and share it for me if you don't mind. And also in the comments, tell me anything that you want me to cook. I'll do my best to try to get it done for you. But other than that, this is Bigtone from Bigtone Productions signing off. Peace.